You've already proven your worth, and yet, as of late, something feels kind of off. You know you've put all this time and energy into where you are now. It just feels like there needs to be more, and not more in the sense of I'm going to take on more, but more meaningful, more impact. And I'm looking forward to really seeing the progress and getting the feedback to understand what makes sense to build in this next phase. If you've ever built something that works, a role, a reputation, a consultancy, a business, but it no longer fits the way you want to live, then this episode is for you. Welcome back, Bold Move Besties, to another episode of She Built Success. I am your host, Claudia, and today we are talking about what it's like to build a business after 40. So look, you're not early in your career, because I know I'm not early in my career. You've already proven your worth, and yet, as of late, something feels kind of off. That's how I feel. And like I said from the beginning of this season, I wanted to take you kind of behind the scenes of what I am working through in building, or I'm not gonna say rebuilding, but evolving this business. And for me, it's been I'll say a discovery, because I've built my consultancy. I've worked for corporate. I've had corporate clients as in the consultancy. I've done government contracting. I've done small business. And in the small business space, that's where I actually started working and taking on my second career in digital marketing. And my first career is IT. So that's what I do usually for corporate clients, usually for the government contracting space. But I got bored. And so I started in small business. And this is 14-ish years ago now. And in doing so, I took on digital marketing as my second career. Because like I said, I was just kind of bored of doing the data analytics day in and day out and reporting and things like that. So I wanted to do something different. And digital marketing is kind of what piqued my interest. And so I went down that path. And what I found is now at 40 something, I want to align my business with my current season. And usually what ends up happening, and I'm guilty, I've done it before, I felt like I needed to completely pivot and shift my entire structure. So hence the career in digital marketing was partly because I wanted to take on a new challenge. I wanted something different, but there was still a pivot. There was still a learning curve, because I've done the courses, I've done the programs, the webinars, the masterminds, I've done all of that. And right now I'm in a space where it's a new direction. It's somewhat of a fresher strategy. And it's really defining what this season of build looks like for my business. And I want to just reassure you that if you're in that space, because it's kind of somewhat not contentious, there's some tension there where you want to make sure that what you've established is already maintained. The revenue is still there, the clients are still coming in, but at the same time, you're in this space, and I'm speaking of myself, but in this space where I want to do something different. I want it to be more impactful. And so that's where I'm at right now. So it's not that I need to start over, because no, but it is something where I feel like I need to actually evolve without starting from scratch, because I'm building from experience. I'm building from my repertoire. I'm building from, frankly, what I would consider somewhat of a left brain in the IT space and right brain activity. So I want to talk about what's actually happening for me right now as I'm stepping through this process. So some of that is building community, just both online and in real life, and having these conversations with other entrepreneurs, with other business owners, with leaders or executives that are in the career field. They may not want to leave the career, but they actually want to just, build in or bring in another type of income. And I'm having those conversations. And it's interesting to hear again, the tension is the best way I could think of it, where you've put all this time and energy into where you are now, but it just feels like there needs to be more, and not more in the sense of I'm going to take on more, but more meaningful, more impact, right? Something that brings in opportunity. And so it's not necessarily a completely dismantle what you've done, because that's definitely not where I am. I'm in a space where I I've taken inventory of what my skill sets are, the tangible and the intangible. And I've said it before on other episodes, but I am very much an encourager of individuals. And so when people come to me, and this is not like, this is like for real, like just people just come to me and they'll say something like, hey, here's my problem. It could be in business, it could be in career. I've done both sides, but they'll come to me and they'll say what their problem is. And it's like they have the pieces there, but they don't actually know how to put all those pieces in a cohesive strategy. And like right now I'm finding that, like, for instance, I'll hear somebody with a tech issue. For instance, they'll say, my tech stack looks like, an email provider here. I try to do some automation there, but I don't know what I'm doing. Or I've hired somebody and it's not coming out how I want it to. And immediately I can say, okay, I see, based on whatever the tech stack is, I see where the gaps are and where the potential is. And I kind of walk through with them what that looks like. Or in the leadership / executive space, it's like, this is what I was striving for. And it's not so much climbing the corporate ladder, but now I feel like this like heaviness feeling. I want to do more. And it's like this misalignment between, where they are now and then where they're trying to go to next. And the best that I have, at least right now, because I'm still having these like real conversations, is if I feel like at this point in your late 30s, early 40s, because I'm in my early 40s, it feels like that tension is not yet defined, or at least not talked about. Ambition looks different. It's not, necessarily what you were like in your 20s that you are still holding and doing that in your 40s. And whether you're a parent or not, whether you have other, everybody has other commitments and things that they want to achieve, but it's really recognizing that more clarity is needed with what comes with as you get older. And so, yeah, for me, it really is, it's been about still showing up. Everything is not completely structured for me as far as like what this next phase is going to look like. But slowly I'm seeing that it's almost like in my brain, it's like a therapy session where somebody would come to me with a problem, and I'm going to lean business because that's kind of where I tend to just by default go. And they come to me with a problem and I'm able to help walk them through a solution. And it might not be all implemented at that time, but the roadmap or the path to implementation, to execution, to seeking and seeing that clarity is what I'm helping them work through. And I don't necessarily think that, like, I have in my own mind, it then goes to, okay, well, do people really need that? Because to me, I hear something and immediately I think of, like, I have frameworks and things. I think of, what next? I think of like, how can we make sure that the momentum is baked in so that you're continuing to see progress? And progress is not always numeric. There's still qualitative measures. Like, how do you feel? And so I kind of lost my train of thought. It's really just bringing you through to an outcome, but helping you see that path versus it feeling like all jumbled in your head. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm working through. And so it's a bit of a challenge for me to, like, do people really this? Are there folks out there that really need this? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm using and saying like when people have come to me in the past, but I mean, those have been people that I have, community with and I talk to, and they just felt comfortable enough to talk to me. And so, I don't know, we'll see where this goes. I'm definitely in a phase of just receiving and listening to, those who are in my life, those that I actually reach out to hear, kind of where they are to be able to do this next build, and within the business. And so it's not, like I said, I am not tearing down what I've established, but I am building from what I've established and making sure that this next phase is in alignment with what I am looking for, which is flexibility. It is time. It is impact. and it's getting up excited to serve. So yeah, let me know in the comments if this resonates. If it does, you could just drop something like, yeah, I get it. Or I don't know, I don't have those little short catchy words or phrases, but I really just want to know, like, does this resonate? Are you there? Or is it just me? It cannot just be me. All these people in the world, I promise you, it can't just be me. I promise myself it can't just be me. But I just don't hear anybody really talking about what it looks like, especially from, later in life career or consultancy or what have you, your business. So I'm in more of a matured state, and I feel like this next phase will bring about or bring to light, I guess, what I'm trying to articulate and a little more structure. And so as this grows, I'll keep you guys posted. I really believe that I can't be the only one. There has to be others out there that feel like they don't want to start over again. They don't want to. Here's the thing. What I've been seeing, and I'm still in the digital marketing space. I've been seeing a lot of like programs that are built around finding your niche and defining your audience. And while it's needed, I'm not negating it. That's not what I need. Like I would much rather prefer something that fits this season that I'm in, which is I've already established my business. I've already gone through different roles. I've already have my own experiences. And now I want to reach out to people who are in that same kind of transition, to be able to help them align. And I will admit there is some like, I'm still going through it myself. So how can I really be helping? But at the same time, I recognize that I can also help, because I just naturally think that way. It's weird. It's like, you know how they say you can't self-diagnose yourself sometimes? Yeah, I feel like that's that's kind of where I'm at. So anyway, as I continue to sharpen what this will look like, I will continue to bring you along. And I'm looking forward to like really seeing the progress and getting the feedback to understand what makes sense to build in this next phase. So Bomu besties, leave in the comments below where you are in your current journey. Are you just starting? Are you ready for something new? Until next time, I'll catch you on the next episode of She Built Success. Bye.